Welcome to Wildcat Sports Update. I'm your host, Jim Boyle, and in studio with me this afternoon, I've got Maria Cummings and Gabby Kulevich of the 2023 girls volleyball team at Wilmington High School. So welcome, Gabby, and welcome, Maria.
Thank you.
Maria, real quickly, who you are, how many years you play volleyball, what position you play, how you got into volleyball.
Yeah, so I'm Maria Cummings. I am a senior at Wilmington High School. I've been playing volleyball for 4 years. I've been on the varsity team for 3 years, but I started playing club with Mass Impact. My home club, love them. I've been playing club there with them for 3 years. This is my 3rd year and last year, sadly. I am a DS Libero, which is back row defensive positions. So, yeah. Okay.
And Gabby?
I'm Gabby. I'm also a senior. I've been playing volleyball for, I always say 4 years, but it's technically 3.5 because I joined late my freshman year. I do not play club, but I'm also a DS Libero, and yeah.
Okay, the DS Libero allows me to ask the next set of questions. Is volleyball refresher for our listeners, people watching out there. So why don't you just give me the positions on the court and then what those are, and then we'll get to Libero. Maria, you do the positions, and then if you just want to explain, Gabby, what the Libero is, because that's the one people don't understand. Is that the one in the different color shirt?
Yes.
Okay, so Maria, what do we got in the position-wise?
So on a volleyball court, we have 6 players on. We have a setter, you have 3 front row hitters. One would be a right side, one would be a middle, one would be an outside. And then typically in the back row, you could either have an outside playing back row, and then you have your Libero. Or it's either 2 DSs in the back row, and then once the setter gets to the front row, you have another DS. It kind of gets confusing.
Okay, DS is what?
I still don't get it.
You still get it. So what does DS mean?
So DS stands for defensive specialist, so it's basically somebody who is passing a lot.
Okay, so the Libero, who wears the different colored jersey, what's that role, Gabby?
That role, for me, is basically just being basically the captain of the back row. If there's a DS next to you, you would have to tell them what to do, where to go, and the Libero obviously wears the opposite color jersey or the different color, so and they can go on and off the court whenever they want, and they don't have to rotate. Or substitute, which is also confusing. But yeah.
So do you guys? So you have the front row with inside, outside, right side, middle.
Yeah.
And the back row. Can the back row come up front?
Yes. With rotations, the back row moves to the front.
Okay.
But typically, when one of us is playing DS, if we're not playing Libero, we can't just do that normal Libero sub. We have to sub out to the front. So typically, I would play either right back or middle back. And once I got to the front row, another player on our team, which is a hitter like Sophia Levita or Shaylin, would come in and sub for me.
And then who would become the Libero at that point?
The Libero is always the same.
The Libero.
The Libero doesn't change.
Yeah,
so if
they have their own different subbing.
Okay, I got
it's
you.
Different. It's weird.
That's okay, though. That's fine. It's one of the things, it's a sport where, to me, everybody thinks, volleyball, I can play that sport. I'll hit it over the head. And I hit it. And we won't talk about what happened in W2, right? So
we don't talk about it.
So no, but it's that sort of thing. So that's why it's nice to educate. It's nice to hear from everybody as to what you do. So Gabby, how did you become a Libero or a defensive specialist? Did they just say you're a defensive specialist?
Obviously I'm not that tall, and I can jump pretty high though. But I always knew that I wasn't able to hit over the net because of my height. And I guess when I first started playing, I just passing was a lot easier to me. It just came to me.
Okay, and then do you both serve or not?
Yeah.
You would just serve. So is there anybody who stays on the court all through a rotation, all 6 spots, or is that a coaching decision? Is that a rule, or how does it? So if I'm the outside hitter, so I'm on the left side, would I stay in all through till I go back to left side, or do they get subbed out, or how's that work?
Just depends on the coach. Typically, a setter would go all 6 rotations. So our setters were Catherine Howe and Sabrina Gray. So typically they would go around all 6 rotations, depending on the coach's preference.
Okay.
And also Sophia Levita, if she went front row for me, I would sub in for her and go back row for her. So it just depends on the coach's preference, because outsides can play back row. Just depends.
How are your serves?
I'd say pretty good.
Pretty good?
I've improved a lot.
Yeah, I agree. I finally got my serve sophomore year, and it's still improving.
I think I just got my serve this year, so
that's good.
It takes a while.
So we have the Libero, we have the front, we have the back, everybody plays. What's the makeup of the team right now? Seniors, we have 7 seniors. So let's try to mention at least the 7 seniors. So You want to take the front row seniors or the defense specialists? You guys can choose.
Yeah, so Gabby and I are obviously both DS liberos. The other libero, who's also a senior, is Anna Jancic.
Okay.
So she's another DS who's been playing for a while.
Okay, and how about in the front? That's 3, so there must be 4 in the front.
Yeah, in the front, we have Annabelle Lawsey, Shaylin Bresnahan, Sophia Levita, and who am I missing? Paige Fuller.
And those are the ones who can jump and spike?
Yes.
Okay. So that's
Not
really
us.
why they're up in the front?
Yes.
So the reason that both of you are on the show today is you both were selected to be the captain of the volleyball team. And I think it's an important role for a young athlete to be able to do that. How do you perceive your role? I'll start with you, Gabby. As you perceive your role as the captain. You got named captain. What do you see your role as the captain?
I think my role this year was probably like encouraging the team and like helping them get like level-headed like during a game, and like basically like hyping them up, like being the hype man.
Okay, and Maria?
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Gabby always had some kind of good motivational speech for us. Like during like timeouts, like she was the one that could pull us back in. I've been known as like the team cheerleader. I would like to say I'm the loudest, whether I'm on the court or on the bench.
Okay.
Coach mentions it.
Yes.
I'm very loud either way. But I'd also like to say, like, I want to be a role model for the younger girls. A lot of, like, we have our families, which we call sisters.
Okay.
A lot of my sisters would come to me and ask questions. And I'm trying to get them involved in the program more with starting club and just starting to get them more comfortable. So.
Okay, so how many sisters did you have on the team?
I believe 5 this year.
5. How about you, Gabby?
I had 6.
6, in fact. Do you know? Can you? Might as well give your sisters a shout out since.
Oh
we
yeah,
got you.
shout out to my
Okay,
sisters.
do you want to give their names? Do you have?
God,
Yeah,
that's gonna be
well,
second.
Wait, I can
no.
try. Well, because I have my little sister, who is like actually my little sister.
Yep.
And I have Pravia, Veronica, Leah Matten. Oh boy.
Sorry, guys.
Are they all
We love you either way.
I'm sorry. I don't mean. I shouldn't have put you on.
No,
I did not
it's
answer that question. But in the preview of this, we didn't talk about. I apologize. So,
Love my sisters either way.
Okay.
I think I got mine. I have Selena, I have Amelia, I have Vivian, Sia. Who's my last one?
Gabby, what's your youngest sister's name? Your real sister?
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's the part of the captain is. So you also were members. Athletic Director Ingram has developed this what he calls the Captain's Council, which I think is a great idea to try to get the leadership involved. How did you see that as? Was that beneficial to you going forward as a captain? And what's one thing that you took out of that?
I guess one thing that I took out of that was just like being able to like collaborate with other people throughout different sports. Like we were sitting there next to like the football captains, and like obviously they're very different sports, but we were all bouncing ideas off of one another. So it was just really nice to have like a different sport. Obviously it's boys football. It's going to be a different like type of feel compared to volleyball. So it's good to just bounce ideas back off each other.
Gabby?
I agree. I think it was a great way to like bond, and I know he brought in Bagel World, so like we were all like, I don't know, it's just a good way to bond.
Yeah, I showed up for the Bagel World Day, I think.
Yeah.
That's smart. That's smart for me.
That's smart.
So then as captains, we also then would have, I assume you guys had team dinners, and there were bus rides. So who wants to take team dinner and who wants to take the bus rides? Gabby, I'll let you take the first choice.
I'll take the bus rides.
What were the bus rides? Who controlled the music? First off?
Shaylin controlled the music, and she also brought the speaker, like the huge speaker.
It's very shocking of Shaylin to do that.
I know. She got it for Christmas one year, and I guess it's like her prized possession.
Okay, so she controls the music.
Yes.
And was it? Are they boisterous rides to and from, or are there any restrictions by the coach?
No, just like basic restrictions, like no eating, no drinking.
Okay.
Like no screaming. Like sometimes it would sing like very loud, and she would just be like quiet down.
Yeah.
And then, what was the most popular song on the bus?
I don't know.
That's a good one.
Or is Shaylin such a DJ that she plays a variety of music?
Always
She plays a variety.
She's insane.
Okay.
It went from like Sparks Fly to like by Taylor Swift to like some random sad country song,
Yes.
and it was just like then to rap, and it's like
Okay.
that's
Sad
Shaylin.
Country was like a good one.
Yeah.
Good. And the bus rides did the freshman, JV, and varsity all play at the same time, or did you ride the bus together, or were they split up?
Yeah, we all rode the bus together.
So the freshmen were on the bus with the, okay.
Yeah.
And you have I know you have a lot of numbers. The numbers are really good. So,
Mm-hmm.
so do you think that helped with building, is that helpful for team building or not?
Yes, I think the younger girls like finally realize how good it is to be on such like a good team, and like how like loving everyone is, and like how positive everyone is.
Good. So you had team dinners. It seems to be, it's a traditional thing. I'm like ancient, but when I was in high school, we didn't have such things as team dinners. I can remember my daughter being a freshman cheerleader, and she was going to team dinners with the football team.
Yeah.
How many did you have? How did they work? And what was the best one we had?
So we all usually take a team dinner. So sometimes we like split them. So like this year, Annabelle and I split Chipotle. So everyone packed the Chipotle in Woburn.
Okay.
A huge line. Coach was invited as well. And then we just split the price of it. So that's easy. But then sometimes we were at certain people's houses. My personal favorite was Veronica's this year.
Yes.
Her backyard. Shout out to Veronica for that. Her backyard was fantastic. There were s'mores. We had pizza, and she had this huge swing that we just like swung back and forth in her yard. It was terrifying, but it was so much fun. So that was by far one of our favorites. We were all like trying to get like push each other on the swings. Fantastic.
So with team dinners, what is the expected result? What are you trying to accomplish with the team dinner?
Just trying to like bring the like team bonding and like bring the chemistry together, because obviously like we have certain people on the team that we're really close with and some people that you're not super close with, but like at team dinners we like, as captains, we'd suggest like sit next to people you don't normally sit next to, or talk to somebody that like you normally wouldn't talk to. So if it's like Gabby and I, we'd sit next to like a sophomore who's new to the team. So we just try to like involve everyone and just bring like the bonding up.
Okay, so Gabby, your sister Elizabeth's a freshman?
Yes.
So I could probably, how many freshmen, we seem to have 3 teams. It's one of the few sports that we have 3 teams, freshmen, JV, and we'll call them JVA, JVB probably. But what's the turnout level of the younger classes? Is the program vibrant? Do we have a lot of kids trying out?
Yeah, I mean, I think there was a lot of freshmen who tried out. So majority of the freshman team is freshmen. And then the JV team, like the bunch of sophomores, freshmen, and we all, like all of them, like are friendly to each other. Like some of them are really good friends. So.
And then what's it like having your sister on the same team?
It's never been done before. Volleyball is a good way to start it off with. But yeah, it's definitely weird seeing her like across the court when we're practicing, but it's good to see her like improve.
That's good. That's good. Okay, so the year, what record? Do you remember what our record was?
I believe we were 3-17.
3-17. So and then we play in the Middlesex League.
Yes.
So 3-17 it doesn't sound so great.
No. Not
But
at
the
all.
competition that we're playing in Middlesex League, are there some teams that are just, because the schools are bigger, that are just tougher for us as we go forward, Maria?
Yeah, I'd say like a lot of the teams are very good. They start their programs when they're younger, which we haven't had the opportunity to have a lot of clinics for like middle schoolers. So I want to say one of the biggest competitors is like Lexington. Their program is fantastic, along with a lot of other programs and teams throughout the entire Middlesex League. I guess it's just kind of hard to just like have to play up to their level, but it's always like a good competition. Like.
Okay, that makes sense. So Gabby, you played club, but you didn't play club. Do you find these other teams that we're competing against have people who played club volleyball all throughout, and did you find that a detriment to you when you first started playing?
No, not really, honestly. Okay. I mean, I couldn't play club because of other sports, and like I always wanted to play club, but like if I was playing against another girl, I wouldn't be able to guess if she played club or not.
Okay.
Oh, if she was really good, then yeah, probably. But.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're a 3-sport athlete, correct?
Yes.
So you're going through every season. So you didn't have time for club. I think you said you had played club?
Yes.
So how long did you play club?
I've been playing for 3 years.
For 3 years. And was that at the urging of a coach, or something that it was just assumed that when you get to 10th grade you'd become?
I guess it was like our coach wanted everyone to make sure that they did something in the off season, but also I just fell in love with the sport that like no winter sport could have made up for like the time that I would have been spending for volleyball.
Okay.
So I love the sport, and like I love to balance that over the winter.
Okay. And then did we have captain's practice or something in the summer? Was there a summer team that everybody could play, or how's that work?
We had a summer league thing in Danvers. It was mostly seniors and like returners. We tried to do captain's practices, but it's hard because we don't have gym time in the summer.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a flop, but we're still able to get like touches on the ball.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you find that beneficial, that for the playing on the fall league or summer league with your own teammates? Was that beneficial?
Beneficial, because also like a lot of us drove together, so you still get to see your teammates, and it's just good to like kind of work out like the bumps that like you guys haven't played together for months. So it's good to just like see each other, work back together, and kind of like just warm up.
Okay, so we have 7 seniors this year.
Yep.
Do you remember how many seniors did we have last year?
4.
4. So the transition, it seems like it's growing. What was this year compared to last year? And we're going to get to the coaching situation right after this. But other than the coach, what was it like this year compared to last year, Gabby?
That's a good question. I feel like last year, like everyone had like definite spots like on the court.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this year there was like a constant competitiveness.
Okay.
It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it was very senior dominated, and like everyone wants their time to shine as a senior. So it's just like kind of hard, especially for Coach Molly, to like balance it all out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Maria?
I guess last year it was just like we had 2 fantastic, all seniors last year were fantastic, but 2 of them were committed D3 this year. So I guess like a lot of us were worried like we weren't going to be good. We lost our 2 D3 commits, like who really carried the team with their energy. They were like last year's captains as well. Their energy really carried through the team as well. So I guess we were just worried that losing those 2 big players who were already committed to colleges, that we wouldn't be able to pick up anything. But I thought this year, like shifting back into that, we played even better, in my opinion.
And that's Maddie and Mia, right? Because
Yes,
they were on my
Maddie
show.
and
I had
Mia.
them on last year. So one final thing about the year and the team. What was the top moment for you, Maria, this year for volleyball? This year, just this year.
I guess our home game against Shawsheen Tech, it was a very, very competitive game. We lost the first 2 sets, and we were able to pick up our energy and just kind of ride through it. We took it to 5 sets. It was one of the closest games I think we've played by far. And like it was just showed like if you have that grit, if you have that passion, you can like do anything.
Okay.
Even though we lost the game in general, it just showed like we're capable of that.
Okay, and to interject in that, they did have a boy playing against you
Yes.
guys, and he can't play the front row?
He can play the front row, but since he's a setter,
Okay.
he can, but he just can't hit in the front row.
Okay, makes sense. And Gabby, top moment for you in volleyball this fall?
I think my top moment was probably the last game, which was also our senior night. I think I played my best. I think the whole team played very well as well. We didn't win, but I think we fought very hard, and it was just like a game that I would always remember.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Now there's been constant change at the top, coaching-wise. I think we've been, we've had 3 coaches and 3 different coaches in 3 years, so it's constant change for you. This year we knew Coach Molly Pelletier. Just real quick, what did you learn from her this year that you're going to take away going in the future, Molly? Maria, Molly.
I guess honestly just like giving everyone a chance, and also just being able to like persevere. I see her pretty much every week now that I coach at Avidity as well, which is where she coaches. And it's just like she's such a very like light person. Like she's very energetic, and she always wants to give everyone chances, and she always has the best intentions and wants everyone to push through. Even if we were losing like 0 to 25 in a set, she still believed in us, and she still wanted us to push through. So I guess just perseverance.
Okay, and so again, 3 years. You played for 3.5 years. You've had 3 coaches in those 3.5 years. Do you notice a difference? I know the styles are probably different, But have you seen it? Has it been a tough ride for an individual player like you, Gabby, to have that happen?
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely had my ups and downs throughout high school, especially in volleyball. But having 3 different coaches for 3 different seasons was probably like very hard. Like they all have 3 completely different coaching styles, but I've learned to adjust to all of them, and I still connect with every one of them. I still have a good relationship with every one of them. So I think, I don't know, it's hard, but you still get through it.
Okay, and this is a question I got from Principal Gindra. What do you take from the volleyball court that helps make you successful in the classroom, Maria?
I guess just trying to focus. Like during volleyball games, you have to make sure you're watching the ball. You have to make sure that you're on your toes, ready to adjust. And I guess you have that focus for however long that game is. And I guess you can move that back to the classroom and just be able to focus and put all your time and energy into that.
Okay. And then I'm going to switch up. Next question is, you have a young sister who's 9th grade, but if I'm the parent of a 5th grade young lady who's thinking about playing volleyball, Gabby, what would you tell them about playing volleyball and playing volleyball at Wilmington High School?
I would definitely recommend starting club, even though I didn't, but it's okay if you don't. I would just say if you really love the sport, go with it, do what you need to do, play what you want to play, and just keep working hard for it.
Okay, and Maria, what would you tell either the child or the parent? What would be your advice?
Same thing. Even if you can't play club financially or time-wise, do clubs, not clubs, do clinics over the summer, do clinics over the winter. A lot of the clubs do offer clinics over the winter, and they're usually fantastically priced, and you get so much out of them. Some of the best clinics I've done have been some of the cheapest ones also, and I've gotten a lot out of it. But just persevere, keep pushing. Even if you are Gabby and I's height and you want to be an outside, push for it. You need to just show them this is what you want, and just keep pushing.
Okay, perfect. Now we get to the fun part of the program, which is the individual questions. Don't be afraid. I'm not asking anything too tough, but we're going to start with Maria. And so, Gabby, you get to go last. You get the hot seat by last, but you're going to hear all the questions, so you'll be ready. First question for Maria: former teammate or present teammate who you've learned the most, or you've gotten the most from, or learned the most from?
I'd say 2 years ago, Alyssa Frisha. She graduated 2 years ago. She was our libero before. Honestly, just a fantastic role model. I also had her as a captain on the tennis team, so constantly surrounded with her. If I needed a ride, she'd be the one I'd ask for. But before one of my club seasons, I texted her and I was like, I'm really nervous. Can you give me any tips on just how to be the best libero or DS you can be? And she sent me this whole paragraph. I copy and pasted it, put it into my notes app, and I looked at it throughout the season. I was like, okay, I can do that. And she just gave me some of the best tips that nobody else has ever really given me, and I really appreciate it.
Okay, good. Other activities you do at high school?
So I'm heavily involved with a lot of different clubs like DECA, Model UN, and SAD. We're both also in National Honor Society, which Gabby will end up mentioning also. And I also do tennis.
You do tennis. Okay,
yes.
Perfect. Favorite moment all time? You've played volleyball for a while. We talked about this year. Yeah. All time, what's your favorite moment playing volleyball?
My sophomore year of club, our last tournament, we went 3-0. We had a fantastic season that year. That was my first year at club too. And we ended up winning a medal. And I still have that in my room to this day. Still will probably end up bringing it everywhere I go. It's just, it reminds me of the team. It reminds me of my first year of actual club volleyball. And just looking back, it just gives me those good memories.
Okay, favorite athlete or role model?
So still very sad about Louisville's loss this past week. But my role model, especially for volleyball, is libero Elena Scott. She just really runs the court very well, and I always just try to find someone in my position that I can just look up to and just take any tips from them.
Okay, influencers or people you want to credit to help to get you to this point in volleyball?
I guess my parents, they've always been supporting me. They've been sitting on the bench, club or high school volleyball, and just been my biggest role models and cheerleaders. And I guess my club coaches, I had them for 2 years in a row, my sophomore and junior year. They were a married couple, and I still love them so much to this day. They were at one of our high school games this year, and just honestly, they were two of the coaches that have watched me like grow to my potential.
Perfect. The number you wear, which I think is number 4, because I can see it on your
Yep.
sleeve, and why do you wear 4?
So, funny story with that. Freshman year, I wanted 13. That's been my lucky number since I was born. It still is one of my like favorite numbers, but I wanted 13 and somebody took it. So I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And 4 was the only one in my size. So sophomore year, I was put on varsity and I was a sophomore. I was like the last pick. So it was between like 4, 5, and 3. And I was like, oh, why not? I'll just take 4. It's in my size. I didn't even remember I picked 4 freshman year. So I feel like it was just like the number that was like meant for me, I guess.
That's good.
And ever since that date, like I've been playing 4.
So that was a good answer. So what's the future hold for Maria Cummings?
So I have already committed to Northeastern University in Boston. That's where I'll be spending my next 4 years. Very excited. It's been my dream school since I was very young. I'm majoring in criminal justice and political science, hopefully on a pre-law or government track.
And you did tell me you do some work, right?
Yes.
You've done that, so you're going to the co-op program, correct?
Yes, so I'm really excited for the co-op program. That's one of those things that have drawn me to it. I've been involved with some of Seth Moulton's work under his Youth Congressional Advisory Council. So I'm hoping that hopefully in the future I can do something like that through Congress.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay, Gabby, you're next. Teammate or present or former teammate that helped influence you?
I would have to say Alyssa Frisha too. Like my sophomore year, I'd always look up to her because she was the position that I wanted, and I don't know, she was just someone great to look up to.
Okay. Other things you do at the high school?
I'm captain for basketball and lacrosse, and I'm in NHS.
Okay. So you're a 3-sport athlete. You're a 3-captain athlete then too. Okay. Mm-hmm. Congratulations. That's important. Favorite moment all time, volleyball?
I would have to say my sophomore year, first round of playoffs. It was like an hour and a half away, maybe 2. I don't even remember what town it was in. But I don't know, it was just like a game that I would always remember. I think it was one of the first games where I started. And it was also like a big battle. And I don't know, I remember the bus ride back being very like sad.
Okay. And do you have a favorite athlete or role model?
Not specifically, but I do look up to like college volleyball athletes.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to skip. What number do you wear and why?
I wear number 12. Last year, or 2 years ago, Meg O'Mahony wore that number, and I just chose it because of her. And I don't know, I think it goes really well with
Perfect.
me.
Yeah.
And then anybody influences or people you want to credit to get you to this point?
I would have to credit my parents for like going to pretty much all my games, and definitely Coach Maddie. She is the current JV coach, and she's coached me my freshman year, and she's basically the coach who showed me and taught me how to fight through everything in volleyball.
Okay, and what's the future hold for Gabby?
I'm planning to go to college. I also want to major in criminal justice. I want to stay close.
Okay. Perfect. So you go both criminal justice, a little bit on the poli-sci side.
Yeah.
Both of you, what are you going to miss the most? Gabby, you go first.
I think I'm just gonna miss like the bonds that I have with everyone and getting to see everyone every day, and not usually like when people or athletes go to practice, they like drag going to practice and I don't want to go. But it was probably my favorite part of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Marie, what are you going to miss the most?
I agree. Honestly, just like volleyball after school every single day it gave me something to do. Like Gabby was saying, it's not something that I like dreaded going to. It's something that I looked forward to, knowing, okay, maybe today was a bad day, but I have volleyball, so I can work it off. And just like the bonds and just being able to see everyone.
Perfect. Now my favorite part of the show, I'm going to let you look right into this camera over here, and we'll start with you, Maria, right into that camera. Give a shout out to whoever you want. Don't forget anybody.
All right. Shout out to Sabrina Gray, because even though you are my little sister, you are my little sister in my heart.
I shout out my mom for always being there for me, and my boyfriend Daniel for being at pretty much all of my games and like being like the biggest cheerleader, and Shaylin for being there by my side every single day, every single sport, and yeah.
Maria, did you forget somebody?
No, I was just snapping at that. Gabby's boyfriend. Oh my God, he was sitting up there like he had
every single
game. He came to like every single away game. I was like, fantastic.
That's great.
I had to drag Matt along. He didn't understand anything about volleyball, but it's fine.
All right. Well, listen, it's been great having you on the show. You guys are very well spoken, very good representatives of Wilmington High School athletics. I want to thank Maria Cummings, number 4, and I want to thank Gabby Kulevich, number 12, for coming on the show. And for Wildcat Sports Update, I'm Jim Boyle, and we'll see you on down the road.